with you really quick. We're going to go through some things and I'm going to talk to you and we're going to share. We're going to have a good time. Go ahead and tag somebody before I share this stuff. I want to share good news I love y'all. I'm so happy that y'all are here, but I want to share it with some more people. Let's get some more people on. Come on in this house. It's going to rain. Yep. Y'all don't know that either, do you? Y'all not saved. All right. So y'all come on in. I'm so happy for those of you who have been a part of, oh shoot, I'm sorry. I was doing a praise break. Didn't I just do a praise break? Hold on. All right, yes. So, all right, I got my own music. I only have to come up with my own music. So happy that y'all are connected. We do have, just tag somebody, let people know let people know. I know it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I know some of you say, I wish you could go a little bit later, but come on, Jericho. Hey, Miss Tina, but we have 12 o'clock is a good time for me. So that's why I come in on at 12 o'clock. So anyhow, look, I have some things I want to talk to you about while y'all coming in. I feel my anointment rising up. So I'm excited about, yes, Erica Dunn, there is something wrong with me, but something is right with me too. My Lord. So anyhow, so we do have, I have some great things I want to share with you as we get started. And I'm going to go ahead and share. Let's see how many of y'all watching. Let's see. 10 of y'all. All right. Can we get 20 people at the altar with your hands lifted, your mouth filled with praise? All right. So look, this is the dealio. We are coming back. Y'all know we are coming back. We're coming back live and in person on the first Sunday in April. We are coming back, and I want you all to be there in the place. The first Sunday in April, we are coming back for the return. I should have played my music. I forgot about that music. The return is happening. It's a return of everybody's coming home. Hey, Kia, so happy that you are here. Sinclair, happy that you're here. So the first Sunday, I want you to invite and share, especially if you're in this area. If you're not even in this area, Lexington area, and you just want to tune in, like and share the Resurrection Sunday. You don't have to wear a suit. You just want you to come in. So please come in. I have my own praise machine. Don't push me. I'll play that music again. I want you all to come on the first Sunday of April. It's our 6 years. Can you believe, those of you who have been rocking with us for a long time, 6 years? Now, let me tell you, it hasn't been 6 perfect years. And I haven't been the perfect leader for 6 years. We haven't been the perfect people, but we have been serving a perfect God for 6 years. So I'm so excited about it on our first Brandon Colbert. You're always going to wear, I wouldn't be surprised if you came in here with a robe on. You say you're going to wear a suit. I wouldn't be surprised if you came on with a robe and a cross. But at the cross, glory. So the first Sunday in April, y'all can tell I can't wait to see y'all. I'm so excited. Y'all can tell I haven't been preaching for a long time. But I got a whole lot in me. Woo! But it's going to get out of me. Glory. Hallelujah. Pastel Easter suit has to make no pastel suits. No, we don't want pastel suits. I don't want quartet looking suits. I don't want none of that stuff. But yes, I want y'all to come back. Someone said, don't tempt. You don't have to be tempted. It's already in your closet. Someone said, I'm coming back to Lexington just for this. Sunday best is what I'm coming with. Well, y'all come on with your Sunday best. I'm wearing a t-shirt. Glory. All right. So if you want to serve, those of you who watch this later, we got 12 people. The altar is getting filled. Woo! Yes, 12 people are coming. 12 disciplines. Look at y'all up in here. Come on. If you want to serve, and be a part of our worship experience, and you say, hey, not just, those of you who've been sitting in the pews, just sitting there, the frozen chosen, my Lord, you've been sitting there, you've been sitting on your couch and lots of COVID weight, and you want to get those calories going and you want them off of you, and that weight, Someone say weight. That weight that has been upon you. Someone say weight. That weight has been upon you. Well, I want you to WAIT. Wait, no longer. We want you to serve in the Lord's church. God has a blessing he wants with your name on it. And we want you to serve, not because we're trying to fill our teams or nothing like that, but that's what we do. You know, we serve, we help others, we want growth to be. So if you're saying, hey, I want to do something or whatever, of course, we want people to connect with growth tracks and all the different things. But if you want to serve in any way, in any capacity, if you just want to hand out Easter eggs on that day, then please go to Growth Point Church and you can connect. There's a link there that says, serve here or something like that. So I want to make sure you do that. All right. Also, I got some good news. Jericho, Brandon Colbert, Michael Weaver, Corrine Reed. Who else do I see on here? Gwendolyn James. Who else? There's 12 disciplines on here. Let me, Erica Dunn, Neo. Who else on here? Let me see who else. Erica Smith, Valerie Harris. Well, she's in Mississippi. She might not be as shouted about this. But look, church. Oh, hold on. Let me cue my music. Oh, Lord. Let me cue my music. Hold on, because I just got to cue it one more time. I got something I want to share with y'all real quick. Hold on. My guest is coming in. I want to make sure that she's not seen. Just quick. Hold on. I'm gonna come back in. Hold on. I got excited for a moment. Okay, there we go. Yes, I want to make sure it's just me. All right, so look, this is what I want y'all to know. This is how excited I am. Y'all can tell I'm excited. I'm excited. But listen, I got 13 people. I told y'all, share, invite, hashtag their return. Do that. Share daily, invite 3, hashtag return. But look at this, church. We are only $400 away from our goal of getting our organ. You hear me, church? We want to get our organ on Easter Sunday. It will be sitting there. Woo! On the first Sunday, touch your electronic emojis and say first Sunday. Fourth Sunday on the 4th, April the 4th. We just need $400 more. Church, am I lifting up an offering? Yes, I am. Yes, I'm lifting up an offering right now. Cash App Growth Point Church. Text Growth Point Church. You can send a check that don't bounce to Growth Point Church. We are so close. We went all the way from $6,000 goal to $400. Look what y'all did. Touch your emoji and say, won't he will. I need y'all to rally around your friends. All of y'all who are, someone said, let me get this Biden money together. All of you all who are been supporting us and rocking with us from the beginning. We've been looking at getting an organ since the conception of the church. So now we are, we're there, $400 away. And we already got the organ. All we got to do is going to be delivered as the people give, as the people have a mind. Someone say mind, M-I-N-D, mind to give. Then we'll be able to get that organ and it will be sitting on the stage Easter Sunday. Y'all ain't heard church until you hear a Hammond B3 in the Growth Point Temple. My Lord. So yes, so $400, that's it. So I just wanted to give you that opportunity. You have not because you asked not, and I want to give y'all the opportunity to give. So those of you who are friends and you just want us to have it, then just go ahead. Don't be stingy. God's going to bless you. Glory to God. Oh, someone said pin the Cash App. All right, shoot, don't tempt me. I will. I'll do it right now. Woo! Oh, Lord. I feel the offering, $100 lines just going up everywhere. Oh, glory, 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 glory. All right, let's go. So, because I got my guest is here. So let me talk about this real quick. So what's the deal? What's the deal? Everybody's been talking about the Kirk Franklin thing. Everybody's been talking about it. Everybody's had a concern about it. Everybody's got an issue about it. Everybody's talking about it. Thank you. I see people already sending money. Everybody's sending it. Send it. Woo, woo, glory. Kirk Franklin, everyone's been talking about it. Why am I talking about it? Why am I addressing it? I'm not addressing it because of anything particular, not just to give more credence to it and all that stuff. No, he's not on the call today. But I feel that many of us have said, I saw someone post, so I want to say this because someone posted the other day I saw, and someone said, are we normalizing cussing and we are now saying it's okay for Christians to cuss? No, what we're not doing is that. But what I do believe we need to do is normalize humanity. That doesn't mean that your humanity has to be on display and, whatever different things, and doesn't mean that we don't have areas that we're bringing before God. But for real, if you have some areas and you have some stubborn areas or children or family or whatever that just keeps pushing you or whatever, and as many who have maybe seen different interviews for 30 something years, there are times that you will possibly go from tongue speaking to other type of words of affirmation to make sure you are inspired to get out of my face. I want us to, those of us who are of the household of faith, and those of us who consider ourselves followers of Christ, to get into that place where we're saying, you know what, all of us have issues, all of us have things we're working on. And there's one of the scriptures that I quote often that says, it says, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, that's one. And it's even a song as well. It goes on, talks about Israel, but another one talks about how if it weren't for his grace, all of us, Paul said over in Corinthians, he said 3 times I sought the Lord that this thorn, we don't know what that thing was, would be removed from me. He said, but it wasn't removed. He said, so I then learned that his grace was sufficient. So for those of us who do ascribe to grace, and those who don't understand grace, you don't understand grace until you need the grace that you finally understand. And that's what we are to be as far as followers of Christ, believers, to be grace people, to be those who extend grace. Because if the camera was to be following us, if the camera was to be following us all day long, and every tweet and every text message and every conversation we had in our families or friendships was recorded, what would we see about each other? So just because his platform is bigger and we've been singing his music for a long time does not give us permission to be able to say, I'm so disappointed. And yes, we're disappointed when we do see sometimes the areas of flaws in people. But what I say is, when we talk about with disappointment, for me, I wrote that in a line of a song one time, and I quote it all the time, for him to know me and still love me, I don't have time to be concerned about anybody else. That's a song I wrote called Through the Eyes of the Cross, for those of you who wonder. But to be able to for him to look through me and look at me, see what I'm capable of, and still reach out his arms towards me and still love me and still have grace for me, that gives me the ability. That's one of our tenets here at the church, that you will receive grace. It doesn't mean that we just take his grace for granted. But what we do is we appreciate that God continues to extend to us his love and his grace. So we pray for Kirk, and I pray for his family, and I pray for his son, and I pray for many of you who have dealt with situations like that, where you just said, you know what? If it were not for God, I would choke you, So we have to constantly be lifting each other up and pray for each other. And I think it's a great conversation for your friends and for people you're connected to, for them to say this, for those people say, that's why I don't ascribe to Christianity now. Look, no one goes to the hospital unless they're sick. And everyone who's sick needs a doctor. So if you see something oozing out of me that still needs to be dealt with, call the doctor, and he has a name. Glory. And his name is Jesus. All of us have checked in because we have an issue. So if any of us when we say the church is like, yes, because all of us have issues, but there is a fountain filled with blood, drawn from Emmanuel's vein, and sinners plunge beneath that flood. We lose all of our guilty stain. It's because of Jesus. It's because of his grace. It's because of his blood that we are who we are. Because if you scratch me long enough and you keep pinching me long enough, I can't tell you what I'll respond with. But we do need and we depend on his grace. So I just want to say that and share that with whoever needed that. And I mean, and that's just my 2 cents. I don't know what it's like to live under that type of pressure all the time. I know what it's like as a leader to live under certain pressures and certain opinions at all times. But as far as on that level, I have no clue what that's like. So pray for him and lift him up. All right, let's shift to something that's a little bit deeper. And I want to bring one of our guests in. Is actually my cousin, actually. And I want to talk about this. It was near to me, and I gave her short notice, and she is at work, but she's on break, and she gave some time to talk. So there was a massacre the other day in Atlanta at a massage parlor that many of you all have already seen. It was really, it's an unfortunate situation, which I hate that it happened. But for those of you who don't know, many of you might not even be aware, but half of my family is very diverse. Like I could never in my right mind ever marginalize anyone. My family is the perfect expression of a rainbow. We have all different types, even in faiths, in belief systems, and in life, and in colors, and everything. My family is a melting pot of all different types of things. But those of you who don't know, half of my family on my mom's side, on my paternal grandfather, my maternal, how do you say it? My mom's father. I don't know how you say that. My mom's father. That's my grandfather. That's all Asian side. And here are some of my family. Like in this picture right here, this is my aunts, two of my aunts, and one of my uncles. That are here, so you see them, and it's funny because when I'm with different family members, different parts of those genes start to rise up in me, and it's funny because I look like everybody that I'm connected to in the picture. So that's my aunts and my uncle, and then on this are all of some of my cousins. All of them weren't here. I just saw them this past weekend, but some of them were there this weekend, and that's my beautiful family, and we have a wonderful, 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 wonderful time together. So I want to bring my cousin on, Michaela, who is actually in the middle. You see her right there in the middle. And we want to talk about this, about stopping Asian hate. And I know for those of us who are African American, and those of you who have experienced other different things, of course, you as well are affected by different things. But I want to talk to her as it relates to Asian hate and how we can combat it and talk about it. And I want to talk to her about how it affected her. I think she's here. Michaela, I can't see your face. Where's your face? Where are you at? So we can talk about this and what it feels like. Hey, Michaela.
Hello.
Hi. I'm so happy that you spent time with me today. I'm your favorite cousin in the entire world. I know I am. You can tell the world. They're not ashamed. It's okay. It's okay. So tell me how this has affected you in for those of you who don't know my cousin, well, you just met her. For those of you who just met my cousin, Michaela, she's beautiful. She is getting ready to go to Beijing in a few months. And she said that she's going there because of this very thing, because of Asian hate. So let's talk about it and tell me how this affects you, and why you even wanted to go to Beijing to combat this type of issue.
So I know it's wrong, but actually, the reason that I decided to apply for a job in China is super petty because whenever I was in middle school, it was the first time I was like in a bigger school, and every day I would have like this group of guys. They would yell at me. They'd be like, "Go back to China, Chinese girl," and that's what people would call me. I was Chinese girl, and so me being an adult, I was like, you know what? I'm a little bit petty, so I'm gonna go to China because they told me to. But I
Never
feel
would you
like
say you're petty. I would never think you were petty. I never thought that. When did you realize that about yourself? When did that? I don't know when you figured that out. There is no pettiness in our family. It doesn't even exist. Where would you think of something
Oh,
like that?
that is so crazy.
I know I mean, God, the revelations that you got on this call.
But in all seriousness, I do think that this is a really big problem that's been happening in the United States for a really long time. Like you said, for African American people as well as Asian people, and I just feel like I have the best of both worlds. And that's something that, like, growing up, that you just have to, like, look away from and just have to, like, tell yourself that you're okay and it's fine. And I was thinking about this when I was gonna go get food, and I was like, what would I even say? Because that's like a really big thing that I kind of like put it in my little box and I just ignore it. And I'm just like, my whole life has been told, like, oh, you're not my type because you're Asian and Asians aren't cute. And even my orthodontist told me I had buck teeth, and I was like, those are just weird things that I have to like push to the side. And like the media in the United States is like, oh, Asians are not intellectuals because they don't speak the same language as us, so therefore they're not on the same intellect standards as the people in the United States just because we can't understand what they're saying because they're speaking a different language. And all of those things, I'm like, I don't think that those are valid ways to like, those aren't standards. So I don't know. And like with the whole violence thing, you're asking me how this affected me. And I was like thinking about it and I was like, it's kind of scary because you have to watch where you are and like who the people that are around you, and you like you have to have your guard up at all times, and that's really stressful because it's supposed to be the land of the free and stuff like that. But it's always that you have your guard up.
And I noticed that when I was reading some things today and even last night, that they said that the Asian community has been the recipient of even greater racism within the last few years. And especially when one of the highest offices in the land was constantly promoting the China virus and saying that it was came from Asia or whatever. And that's when everybody started to, every time they would see an Asian person, start to. I saw some video recently of an older man, maybe 89 or something years old. There was an Asian man that got pushed off of the sidewalk, and he died because someone was just showing hate to him. How how do we well, how before, okay, let me say this, ask this. Before COVID, before Corona, did you feel like you were experiencing that type of thing before, or do you feel like you experienced it even more when it started to be like some joke? It's the China virus and all that type of stuff.
I feel like before COVID, it was more like um really creepy guys. Like was what I was getting, and it like was really uncomfortable because they were like, "Oh, you're Asian." Like I love anime, and I'm like, that's not a reason that you should want to like pursue me and want to be my boyfriend. Like I don't feel like that's that was really uncomfortable. And then after like COVID started happening, then it was like more like, oh, you're gross, please stay away from me. Because I remember whenever like COVID started like getting like a little bit more serious in the United States, I actually had the flu and I didn't get excused from class, so I had to go to class in person. And I kind of like excluded myself from people because I was like, I don't want to get other people sick. And my professor straight up called me out, and he was like, "Oh, do you have COVID? Is it because you're Asian?" And I was like, "No, I have flu,
Well,
but thank you so much for pointing that out to everyone."
well, so do you feel that when we were doing a lot of the Black Lives Matter and a lot of the protests and stuff, did you all feel the same thing? Like we feel like we've been marginalized too. We feel like we've been under. I'm reading one of the books I have read called The Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. Talks about the caste system and how we've all been placed into these different roles. Do you feel that some different opportunities and things have not been afforded to you, just like it was hard for some African Americans? Well, maybe in a different way, but in the same way, like like you said, people want to date you, or they said, did you you're sick because you got that. I mean, those type of things. Do you feel like you've experienced that type of stuff over and over again?
I do. I feel like I've had to prove that I'm like to the same standard. Like I said before, I have to prove that I'm on the same standard, and that like I even have to prove that I'm smarter sometimes because people look at me and like they'll they've seen our family and they're just like, oh, you're probably not that smart. Like, are you a first generation college student? And it's like, yes, I am, but you don't have to look at my family and just assume that. Like, that's not very fair. And like, my mom like came here to the United States, so like people just like look at that and they look at all of these factors and they're just like, oh, you're probably not that smart because your family's not smart either. And I'm like, my family's the smartest people I've ever met, and they are the reason that I am the way I am. So you saying that like really bothers me, and so I have to overprove myself all the time just to like say, hey, I might be Asian, but i'm I'm pretty up there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to say that as a family, we are very proud of you and what you have done and how you have accomplished and continue to soar and continue to do different things. I can't say that you're I mean, I can say on here you're my favorite cousin. I can't say that off this Zoom because I might get in trouble. And but I'm so proud of you. And I'm mostly grateful that God allowed us to have a diverse family. I really am. I don't know what lens I would see the world in had I not been exposed to diversity at a young age. Um, we have always we've always had this type of love and appreciation, and I've learned cultural different things through the Asian side of our family, and then you all have learned how to shout from the Black side of your family. No, I'm just playing. So we have all had many different expressions, but we're very proud of you. I know that you're going to do well in Beijing, and I thank you for sharing that. I wanted to give voice, and I felt that it was important because sometimes um, I don't, as far as people who know me wouldn't know, because I mean, they would know how diverse our family is. Sometimes, you know, you see pictures of people, they're like, who is that? You know, I'm like, it's my cousin. I'm like, where? Where they do that at? Right here. You know, so we're proud of you. Thank you for taking some time on your break to spend time with us. I'm praying for the Asian community. I am, and this hate crime that has happened. What I'm most happy about is that we have a leader in the public office now who is not continuing to push that type of jargon and language that gives permission for other people and employees and bosses to be able to do the same. So I'm grateful for that. I have to agree with everything with administration, but I am grateful that we're not seeing that type of bullying and that type of language that is perpetuating different ideologies and languages and things that we need to break. So I love you, Michaela. And I think you're wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And stop saying our family is petty. There's no petty in our family. We are the gracious, most nice, kindest people. We are not petty. We're not sarcastic. None of those types of things exist in our family. None.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're so right.
That's what I thought. I mean, I couldn't agree more. So, all right. Well, all right. Go back to work. I'm going to end my Zoom, but you go ahead. I love you, and we'll talk soon.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Everybody that was on here, thank you so much for connecting to our time. I hope that this was good for you. I mean, I enjoyed it. I like to have laughter and fun and all that type of stuff. Y'all know that. But ultimately, I want to give you, of course, content. So I want to make sure that you know that next week, we're going to be going back to the Ask PM. I have some things that I want to, some people we want to respond. Some of y'all need some updates on some people to want to know how some people did. Did that person go on that date that I talked about them? Did they get the food? I don't know. Did they eat? Did they find out whatever type of food you like? We don't know. So next week, I want you to tune back in because we're going to talk about that. And if you have questions that you want to ask PM, who's PM? Me. I'm your king to be. Yes, that's me. So if you want to ask me a question, please go ahead and email me that, and I will answer that next week. It has been a great time that we have experienced together. I'm so happy that you connected with me today. And just one more thing we want to do before we log out. We want to give them a we want to give him. So thank you all for tuning in. Y'all have a great week, and I will see y'all next Thursday. God bless you. Holla.